Welcome back to Big Nick's Meats and Treats. Today I'm going to try something I've never done before. I'm going to try and do butter bath chicken. I was watching a show last night and one of the Iron Chefs was talking about butter bath chicken. I thought, man, I really need to try that. So I got myself some chicken quarters here, real nice thighs and legs. And I'm going to work up a brine this morning and get the chicken in the brine. And then later on, we're gonna smoke them and then give them a butter bath. And then I'm gonna make homemade sauce for them. I'm hoping it's gonna be fantastic. So come along with me. Okay, for the brine, and this is the exact same brine that I use for pork chops and everything else. It's in some of my other videos. I'm gonna do an apple juice brine. So this is 2 cups of apple juice. 1 cup of water, equal parts brown sugar and kosher salt. So in this case, I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of kosher salt. 1 tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper and 1 teaspoon of red chili pepper flake. And then I'm going to get the stove going. Mix this in good, and I'm gonna just bring this up to a simmer, and once it starts simmering, I'm gonna turn the heat off and put it in the fridge until it cools. So that's gonna be probably an hour, hour and a half or so we'll see you then. All right, welcome back. Our brine is cooled off now. I had it in the fridge for a couple hours, and to get ready to put the chicken in the brine, I got myself a 2-gallon freezer bag, a big metal bowl. And I went ahead and separated the legs from the thighs just because I think when I go to put it in the pan with the butter later on, I thought it'd be easier to arrange it. So I'm going to take my brine, it's all cooled off, and put it in the bag. And trust me when I tell you, when you put your chicken in the brine, make sure you have a bowl here. Previous disasters have taught me to make sure I keep that in a bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken in there. And I'm probably going to keep it in here for 6 hours. The whole purpose of the brine is to help the chicken retain moisture and keep it tender. So the longer you can keep it in there, the better. So we're going to put it in there for 6 hours. And then we're going to get to cooking these things. I'm pretty excited. We'll see you. While our chicken is still in the brine, I'm going to go ahead and try out a new sauce recipe. It's kind of a research and development day today. I'm trying a whole bunch of new stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 1/2 stick of butter. I'm going to take 2 jalapenos that I de-seeded and got the membrane out of. Put that in there. 3 cups of ketchup. It's a Kansas City style sauce recipe, so it's got a lot of ketchup. Something I haven't done before is I'm gonna cook the sauce on the smoker while the chicken's cooking, and I'm gonna let those jalapenos steep in the sauce, and then I'll pull them out when I'm done with the sauce. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some yellow mustard, probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 tablespoons. Put that in there. And now I'm going to do equal parts molasses, brown sugar, and apple cider vinegar. And in this case, I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of each. So a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, and a 1/2 cup of molasses, which I'm just going to guess how much that is because this stuff is so messy. So about a 1/2 cup of molasses. And then now I'm going to add my dry spices. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper. I'm going to add a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Yeah, let's make it a 1.5 teaspoons. There we go. Okay. I'm going to add a teaspoon of chili powder. And I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. I would normally add a little bit more than that, but the Master and Commander doesn't like stuff too hot. Okay, so now I'm going to whisk that all together, and then when I put the chicken on, I'll probably put the chicken on about 235 degrees. I'm going to put the sauce in with it and let it smoke in there with the chicken for about an hour and get that smoke flavor built into the sauce. And then when it's all done, I'll pull the jalapenos out, and I might run it through a sieve just to make sure there's no seeds or anything, and we'll have that great sauce to put on the chicken when we're done. We'll see you in a bit. We're back. We've had the chicken in the brine now for a little over 5 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and get the chicken out of the brine. And you're going to want to rinse that brine off. So just do a light rinse all the way around both sides. Get all that brine off. If you don't rinse the brine off, it'll be way too salty. So make sure you rinse them off. And then I'm putting them on a rack because I'm going to smoke them for the first hour or so. And I don't like getting all that chicken grease down in my smoker, so I just put it on a rack and then I just pour the grease into a soup can. All right, this will just take a couple more minutes, and then we'll get to seasoning, and we'll see in about 5. We got all the brine rinsed off now, so the next thing I want to do is dab the skin dry on this chicken. Any moisture that you leave on there is going to make that skin have a less chance of being crispy and bite through skin. So that's apparently what the pros say is the goal with the Butter Bath chicken, is to get bite through skin. So we want to get all that moisture off. And one thing I like to do to get crispy skin, and I've talked about this in other videos, is I'm going to spray them with a little bit of Pam. Also give something for the seasoning to stick to. And then I'm going to use my own homemade rub. I make my own rubs because I can control the ingredients and I can't have onions and garlic, so I make my own. So now I'm going to season it. And we're going to let this seasoning sit on the chicken for about a half hour so they get a nice good color. We want a good color on them. I think I'm going to do the bottom of the thighs too. If you want the recipe for my rub, you'll have to go back through some of my other videos. I think I did it about 1.5 years ago. So if you got food allergies, you can make your own rubs real easy. Gonna get both sides all the way around. All right, now I'm going to let this sit for about half hour so they get a nice good color on them. Let that seasoning sink in for a little bit, and then we're going to get them on the smoker. See you in a bit. All right, I got my smoker going at 235. The chicken has had the seasoning on it for about a half hour, and it's pulled quite a bit of moisture out, and they got some real good color on them. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken on. I'm using hickory today, and I'm going to put the sauce in with it also and get that sauce so it has some nice smoke flavor on there. And I'm going to smoke these for just about an hour, and then I'm going to put them in the butter bath. We'll see you in a bit. Okay, we've had the chicken on the smoker for an hour. It's got some beautiful color to it, and I took the sauce off out of the smoker and then whisked it up real good. I took the jalapenos out of there, and it is super, super tasty. That's a recipe I'm going to be hanging on to. So now the next thing we need to do is take our chicken, and we're going to put it in an aluminum pan. Oh, I might have to do 2 aluminum pans. I can get them in there. Like so. And now I'm going to take a whole bunch of butter, stack it around the edges, and then we're going to cover this in foil, and this is going to butter baste all this chicken. So I turn the smoker up to 325 degrees, and I'm going to put a probe in here, and I'm going to cook this until it's about 185, which is higher than I would normally go. But to get that bite through chicken, you got to go higher than you would normally go. But we're going to still have lots of moisture because we brined and we're doing the butter bath. So I'm going to get these things on the smoker until we get to 185 degrees. See you in a bit. All right, our chicken's at the internal temperature of 185 degrees, and it's been in the butter bath or the butter baste. So let's take a look and see how it looks. Ooh, my heavens. That is a lot of butter. Wow. So now what I need to do is take these out and sauce them. So I'm gonna put them in the sauce that we made. Get a nice good coating on them. And I'll put these back on the smoker at 325 for probably 7 to 10 minutes to get that sauce to caramelize on the chicken. Oh man, that looks good. So good. I'm getting hungry. All right, I'm gonna finish saucing these up and we'll get right back to you when I get ready to put them back on the smoker. See you in a few. Okay, we got the chicken all sauced up, and now I'm gonna put it back in the smoker again at 325 for about 7 to 10 minutes, just to get that sauce all caramelized on the chicken. And then we'll be ready to dig in. See you in about 10 minutes. Our chicken's finally done. It looks and smells fantastic. I'm not 100% sure about the bite through skin. So one of the reasons that the pros do this butter bath chicken here so they can have the bite through skin, meaning when you bite through it, the skin doesn't come off all in one piece. So I'm gonna take a leg here and take a bite and see how it goes. Oh my goodness, bite through skin. I didn't think it was gonna do it. Wow. Bite through skin, that sauce is fantastic. And even though I cooked the chicken to 185 degrees, look how juicy that is because of the brine and the butter bath. I'm gonna bathe in this sauce. It's so good. Hey, this is, it was a big experiment for me, the sauce and the butter bath. Sorry about that. But if you want to give it a try, I think it would be worth it. You know, it's a good, you got to have some research and development on the barbecue stuff. We'll be doing another video soon. Tell your friends about us and give us a like and a subscribe. Until we see you next time, watch me work, baby. Watch me work.